I'm going to go ahead and call to order this meeting of the Kingston School Committee with a roll call vote. Jesse Keefe.
Here.
Jeannie Coleman. Here. And I am here. Sheila Vaughn may be joining us online at some point. She was actually in a really bad car accident today, so we have zero expectation and hope she is feeling better soon. We also had a resignation, unfortunately, from Trisha Arrieta. She moved to Michigan with her family, so unfortunately cannot be here with us anymore, which is a bummer. We really appreciated her time and efforts for this committee. That said, letters of interest are being accepted through the Board of Selectmen's office. We will be meeting October 7th, thank you, and applications are until September 25th, I believe, at 4 p.m. That information is all available on the Town of Kingston's website. Okay, this meeting is being recorded. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of the meeting should notify the chair at this time. Okay, and do we have any visitors that would like to speak? Please come up to the podium.
Hello everyone, my name is Matt Jeffrey. I live in Pine Brook Drive. I grew up in Kingston, K through 12, Silver Lake. I've been teaching special education for about 20 years now, and what I've really been witnessing is a lot of people being able to walk freely within the school systems without being able to be notified. At my school, we wear a lanyard just like this, right? It's got my name tag on it, it's bright, it stands out, so everyone knows that I work at the school system. The custodians wear them, the secretaries wear them, people coming from meetings for special education, whether you're coming from different schools, they all wear them. But I don't know if I said the cafeteria workers, everyone in the building has them. About 4 years ago, we moved into a new school. I saw a gentleman without a lanyard on because it really stuck out to me because he's supposed to have one on. Instead of walking away, I approached the gentleman, I introduced him. He was an electrician. He was lost. He got in somehow. I didn't just send him on his way. I walked into the main office, made sure he signed in, and made sure he was supposed to be. That is not happening in our schools. I was at the integrated preschool with my 4-year-old the other day. No one had one on. I couldn't tell who the teachers or parents were at the open house. If I can't tell, how can my kids tell? Or our kids tell? Right? There was some special education teachers wearing them, but they didn't have IDs, and they were all different and colorful because they had pictures on them to talk to the nonverbal kids or kids with communication disability. And that's their job, and they should have those on. I have seen them on the wrist or on the side, yes, but that does not tell me anything. It just says, hey, I got a card. Anyone can put these on. Right? See how quickly mine just popped off. It can fall off. Anyone can use it. Right? And then I also have kids in the middle school. I went to the middle school open house, 7th and 8th graders. My wife and I, 3 little ones, got lost while our 2 7th graders are there. We got down to the 8th grade wing. We know we're lost, right? We know we're not in the auditorium, but we don't know the building. That's our first time in there. Who did I ask? Not an adult, because I couldn't tell who was a teacher and who wasn't. They were all adults there. There were some Stuco kids with badges on that I could easily recognize and ask, hey, we're lost, where do we go? They walked us to the building. The only person in the middle school I saw during the presentation was the assistant principal talking about e-hall pass. Only person in the building. Right? On Friday, my school has Friday off before Labor Day. You guys take the Tuesday off. I dismissed 2 kids from the middle school, 1 from KIS. No one had it on except one person had it on the hip and one person had it on the right way. How can we expect our teachers to do this and people on the staff if the leaders aren't, right? It starts with admin, it starts with the superintendent, it starts with the acting principal at the preschool. It's all of you guys. Like, you guys need to lead by example and push this. These are like $5, $4 if you get them in bulk, right? You can give to everybody, even if you lose them. You know, with the stuff that's going on, it's not cool. You guys have any questions for me?
Actually, I just have one. In the instances you referenced about pickup, did you go beyond?
No, that protocol was good, but when I was in the 6th grade last year, they just pegged the door and went out the side when we were doing a science project. They just waved us in. I didn't have a lanyard on. I saw another parent. I was like, hey, is this where I'm supposed to be? She was lost too. And it's like raising flags to me because that's what I do for a living. Not all these parents do what I do, or see it the same way I do. But, if they can take time off, not everybody gets picked for field trips to go in there. They pegged the door and they walked right back in. They're too lazy to walk, 20 feet around to the front to go in through the locked door. I mean, what good is the front door and the other doors being locked if that's just left open, especially by the train tracks? Like anyone can walk down there from the train track, right down Copper Beach Drive, walk through those paths right there.
No, thank you for your feedback. We appreciate that.
Yes, miss.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for bringing this to our attention. At the beginning of every year, we review our emergency protocols with our police and fire and first responders. All of the principals attend. Also, at the beginning of the year, I sent out a reminder to staff or to our principals to remind staff to wear their lanyards. Nonetheless, if it's not happening, we need to make sure it does happen. And I can work with the principals to make sure that that's being done.
Yeah, but you just don't need a blank black one. You need something that stands out.
So we do.
Stands out, not just something that blends right in.
Well, again, each of the schools pick their own school lanyards, but at Silver Lake, for example, it's a red Silver Lake lanyard.
Thank you. I don't know about the high school because
Yeah.
I thought it was going to get better from
The middle school and
KDS
high
Scott
school
West.
should be wearing the red Silver Lake lanyards.
Well, the assistant principal was wearing a black one. And the only ones I've seen are the black ones. So that tells me either A, the district's not providing them, or they're just throwing them in their desks. One of those two things are happening.
So they do have to have a badge. There's no policy on the exact color that the lanyard has to be.
The badge doesn't tell my kid or your kids or our kids that this person shouldn't be in the building.
Again, it's something I can bring up with the principals, but we do pay for lanyards every year.
Yeah. What good are they if they're not using them?
Exactly.
No, I agree, and I appreciate hearing that it is budgeted, so.
So hopefully,
We'll
since it's
definitely follow up
budgeted,
with
you can purchase some ones that, stand out and make a significant difference.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Do you guys
Thank
need
you.
anything else? You guys good?
No,
If you
appreciate
need
it.
me, you guys know where to find me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Did you want to speak?
Yeah.
You could just have up to the podium. Thank you.
How's it going? My name's George Priolo. I live on Brewster Road. My child goes to Kingston Elementary. We've been having an issue with the bus this year where every year they send out the thing and they say it's going to be the corner of Summer Street and Brewster. But historically, they've always come down. It's a dangerous intersection. It's constantly has road work, constantly has accidents, all of that, and all of a sudden they've taken it away. They won't come down. We've got 9+ kids standing on the corner of Summer Street, blocking the whole road. It's dangerous. I don't want my kids standing there. I don't like driving past it because it takes up the whole road. And they refuse to do anything about it, so I just wanted to bring it to the attention of the board. And that's about it.
Can I ask a question to Dr. Prue? When first student sets their routes every year, why would this have been changed? Do we know?
It depends. I have quite a few different requests that sometimes reach me. I'm not sure if this is the one where the SRO and the principals went out. Okay, so the SRO went with the bus company. The bus company deemed it unsafe to go across the 2 lanes. The SRO was there. The SRO also understood once they saw what the problem was. Again, both principals were there. And the bus company is has to make sure that they're not violating traffic laws or traffic safety. So there's really not much we can do when, in fact, the SRO and the bus company agree that pulling in and pulling out creates a safety issue. And
There's
that's the
plenty of
reason.
other streets, though, that they're pulling out unsafe, even pulling into the school on 2nd Brook Street. I almost got hit by a bus crossing the yellow line over there.
So my understanding is that the way that the streets line up, and it's the particular angle that forces the bus to go into the other lane?
Yes. Okay, so now, but when you have 9 to sometimes 12 children, some of which that are younger than school age, standing on that corner, now when someone comes out of Winthrop and is trying to watch everything going on, and they hit one of those kids, that's safer? That's safer than crossing out onto the road.
Again, we have multiple group stops throughout the town. In part,
It's not, the group stop's not the problem. It's the making them go out onto Summer Street, like, and they even requested that they stand in a stranger's yard that doesn't have kids. It's,
Could I ask a question?
mhm.
Who told you to,
This was the bus company,
the bus company?
yes.
Specifically gave the direction of waiting
They
in
told
somebody's yard?
to
That's-
wait on the corner there, which is someone who doesn't, and then they brought up a driveway that is like one house over and has no children whatsoever. It's a rental, so,
Okay, that was my follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do they have children?
Right.
so.
And I just want to remind the committee that when we were talking about the cluster stop in front of Cancun, we took consideration for the fact that that's a business. If this is a private residence, then at any point, they could put up a no trespassing sign, and this cluster stop will be asked to move and stand in the middle of the street. So I hear your concern on that.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
But I hope we can get a follow-up that would be for the safety of the kids. If it's a matter of, needing to send a detail down there to get these kids off the bus so that they're not at risk of being hit getting
Yeah,
off
I
the
mean,
bus.
anything to make sure that the kids are
Right.
safe, because I could care less where we have to get on the bus. That doesn't matter to me. What matters is the large group of kids standing on the corner of the road on a narrow street.
Is this a greater problem than in the morning as opposed to in the afternoon?
It's
both?
both, really. I mean, it's a rough little section of road. It's,
No, I actually happened to be behind the bus the other day when it was dropping off, so I was like, oh, let me see what this looks like. And
Yeah.
I do see where your concerns are coming from.
And I
It's
mean,
not a lot of
there's
space.
3 cul-de-sacs down the neighborhood. I get that pulling out is tough, it's difficult, but you got to take into consideration the large group of children standing there as well.
You said it's been done in the past, that they drive down the street?
Every year they've gone down, every year. So, and they didn't even give us warning. They literally stopped at the end of the street, beeped, and had my wife tell the other parents the morning of that they changed it. So, it's just ridiculous.
Oh, Sarah.
So if I could give the committee a complete picture of what's happening. Brewster Road doesn't meet Summer Street at a 90-degree angle. In order for the bus to pull out from Brewster Street, it either would need to go drive across the corner to stay in the marked lane, or it has to go over the double yellow line. And so the bus company explained to me that there were a number of occasions last year where they almost caused accidents or were almost in an accident from somebody hitting them. And so the issue is that the bus has to cross over the double yellow line on Summer Street in order to take a right-hand turn. And on the corner of Summer Street, there's a stop sign, a telephone pole, there's a number of trees, and the visibility looking left and right, sitting up high in a bus, is not ideal. And the speed that the bus pulls out also presents a challenge. So as was mentioned, the principals, myself, the bus company, the lot manager, the area manager for Eastern Massachusetts, and the SRO did get in a bus, drove down. Principal Materna actually sat at the stop sign on, in the driver's seat and looked left and right, and there is a tree on the left-hand side that obscures view. So what has happened since then is a conversation has been started with the highway department about the visibility there. And
Respectfully, I'd rather a school bus get into an accident with another vehicle than a child to be hit
Thank you for
Because-
the common sense there.
Well, because I think honestly, I can understand where a bus driver is coming from, saying that they may be breaking I'm in the middle of teaching 2 children to drive right now that have just completed driver's ed. It's not fun. I get where the bus company is coming from with drivers that are trying to be precautious and trying to follow all the rules of the road, but we can't have children expected to stand in somebody else's yard to get picked up on the bus. I just think that right there is, it's not fair to the community, and it's not fair to the fact that we provide busing for all of our kids. It should be at a safe spot, so. I don't know of any other cluster stops that's in somebody's front yard, that's all.
I agree, and I think advisement from the bus company to wait in someone's yard is inappropriate, especially given they don't have a child on the bus. I'm not sure what we can do to try to revisit this, to come up with a solution that everybody feels comfortable and safe with, but we've had many conversations around bus safety over the last few years, so I do feel if there are several families that don't feel that their bus stop is safe, then I think we need to keep looking at the situation and see what other options might be available.
We can contact the bus company. We can also contact our attorney, but I do not believe legally we can require the bus company to go down the road.
Then the
So,
town
but-
needs to do something about that, not the bus company. The town needs to make the road safer for these residents, so.
So we will continue the conversation to see
Thank
what
you.
other alternatives exist,
Okay.
if any.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other visitors this evening? Okay, seeing none. School committee correspondence, we do not have any right now. Next on our list is our consent agenda. This is something new that we will be adding to our monthly agenda every month that will consist of non-controversial items that committee members have already had a chance to review. Anyone is welcome to ask for something to be removed from the consent agenda for discussion at any point if they would like to do so. Otherwise, we'll be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda for the bulk of items that fall under that.
Megan, I just was not present for the June 25th meeting. That was the one where I logged on late.
Okay.
So I will ask that that be removed from the consent agenda just so I can abstain.
Sure.
Thank you.
Wait, which one?
June 25th. It was the one about the lawn sign.
Oh, the dates on here are July 10 and August 11.
The last one. It's June 25th.
No, I know, I'm looking at the agenda. That's why I'm confused.
Oh, so I might have the wrong dates because it's July 7th and June 25th that are included.
Okay, so,
Just amendment on those.
yeah, sure. Okay, so removing the minutes from June 25th. Is there a motion to approve the remainder of the consent agenda?
I'll
Oh.
make a motion that we approve the remainder of the consent agenda with the exception of the minutes from June 25th.
Okay. Sarah?
The money amounts in the consent agenda need to be part of the motion. That's what I wanted to give you
Oh.
before the meeting. I actually emailed them to you.
I just-
Or I
yeah.
can read them to you right now.
Yeah, would you like to read the,
The warrants total $635,257.79. Again, with the microphone on. The warrants total $635,257.79, and the grants and donations total $345,859.
thank you. Okay, is there a second for Jeannie's motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's see, new business. Liz, we have a new integrated preschool principal. Do you want? She doesn't appear to be here, so
No,
is there any more that
for the
you?
integrated preschool, we didn't ask her to join us just because she's a Silver Lake employee, so
Sure.
I'm not, she's not embedded.
No, that's totally fine. I just wanted to,
Just, and I don't want to be.
would you mind just
That's
speaking
fine.
at the post? Sorry, thank you.
I'll take my whole thing. Absolutely. Thank you. We did skip over the executive session at the beginning of it. Are we going to do that at the end of the
meeting, so that, because one of the things on the new business to discuss and vote needs to be talked about prior to an executive session.
So we're going to have to adjourn and come back to regular session to vote that.
Was it,
To do the MOA.
I believe it was removed from the agenda,
The executive session.
unless it's at the end.
It's there.
It's there, and
It's
the-
there. It's item number 1, but.
And it is the MOA to be discussed. Just the sick leave bank was removed from the executive session. So I
Okay.
believe in the updated agenda, the executive session is still there. Is
Okay.
is that accurate?
It is.
Okay.
All right, so we will have to come back to that.
Sure, totally fine.
Circle
Thank
back.
you.
Totally fine.
Okay.
Then it's AV and then so C would be mosquito spray.
Yes. Sorry, I ended up in the wrong. Okay, next up is mosquito spraying. Jill, Dr. Prue, would you like to update?
Sure. So I was asked by the Kingston Board of Health to schedule mosquito spraying for Kingston Elementary School and Kingston Intermediate School. I have never scheduled mosquito spraying for either of the buildings since both buildings are owned by the town of Kingston. However, I have been asked to schedule mosquito spraying, so I will be requiring your vote this evening in order to move forward with that.
I will make a motion that we approve the mosquito spraying for the town of Kingston fields.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dr. Prue.
Thank you.
Okay. And then Sarah, is there about the MSBA?
So that should say ARP, not AEP. ARP is the Accelerated Repair Program, which is the Mass School Building Authority funds energy-efficient, cost-saving upgrades for existing public schools, primarily focusing on roofs and windows to extend the building's life, reduce operational costs, and improve the school environment. So as you know, we submitted a project for the Kingston Elementary School roof. It was accepted by the MSBA, and we're at the stage where in your school committee packet is the schematic design document. I'm sure you found it to be quite riveting, all 78 pages of it, as you were reading through your school committee packet. Somewhere around page 65, there's a Gantt chart in the packet that outlines where we are in the timeline. So the schematic design was submitted to the MSBA on August 28th. And then the other two dates of interest on the Gantt chart are there's town meeting on October 28th and the MSBA board approval, which is scheduled for October 29th. So where we're at right now is the project was applied for and approved, and the design has been complete, the schematic design has been completed, and we're moving towards the town meeting approval. On page 71 of that document is the article for the fall town meeting with the language for the motion vote and the ballot question that would go with it. And that is an update on the roof project for Kingston Elementary School. There was a question that came up about solar panels and the ability to put solar panels on the roof, and that is something that the designer is working on, adding the ability to take solar panels.
Okay,
Can I ask a question about that?
sure.
So with the motion of $1,263,768, how much are we getting in grant? How much is covered in the grant? Like, what's the total cost of because this, if I'm not mistaken, this is a portion of the project, right? This is not a full roof replacement?
Correct,
because-
this is a portion of the roof.
Yep, some of it wasn't deemed old enough. So do we know what the total cost is? Like, what percentage is MSBA covering?
I'm going to apologize to you because I came across it as I was reading through the documents and my emails today to prepare for this, but I don't have that number off the top of my head.
And do we know where just because I know that it'll probably come up with the town on Thursday when we meet with them, but do we know where this money is going to come from for the fall town meeting, since
That is,
we don't know?
that would be the town.
Okay.
It technically is a town project because it's a town-owned building.
Oh, I understand that, I'm just wondering where we're gonna come up with $1.2 million. Okay.
Thank you for the update. Okay, regionalization study update. Jeannie,
Megan, would you like me to read what I read to the,
that would be perfect. Thank you.
I'll see if I can improve my reading skills since then. But, so, Jesse, just to give you a heads up of what we're doing here, there is a study committee now formed, which includes myself for Silver Lake, actually, Megan for Kingston, Lori Costa-Klein for Halifax, and John Williamson from Plimpton, as well as the superintendent, Sarah Hickey, and then John Seelig, Missy Bateman, and Michael Cowett. And then there's one other one, James Waters, is he Halifax, maybe?
Yes.
Finance Committee. He's also on the committee. The purpose of this committee is to exercise the grant that was awarded to Halifax, but then accepted by Kingston, to utilize those funds of up to $130,000 to study a potential full regionalization for the district. So the update that I gave the other night is that we met in June with the Collins Center to discuss items we wanted to be in their proposal. The Collins Center presented their proposal to the study committee on July 9th via Zoom. The meeting is recorded and should be kept with the Kingston Town Clerk. There were some minor tweaks to their proposal, including adding a community presentation at the conclusion of the study. The committee will not take a position until the study is complete. Should the position be favorable towards moving to full regionalization, a favorable vote would be needed by each school committee, town board of selectmen, and then articles on each town meeting warrant. And then I make it clear we are not anywhere near this point. The study will include data collection from financial and educational standpoints, as well as information from community members, staff, parents, other elected officials, and even students. Attorney Duperret has requested that the Collins Center present a full draft regionalization agreement. The Collins Center expects their study to be completed in approximately 18 months, and it will cost about $124,000, which that amount has been amended, to be paid for by the regionalization study grant that was awarded. And there are some concerns from central office about manpower throughout the data collection phase and the study. And we met again on August 13th, which is how I know that that number was tweaked. I believe it's now $128,000. And again on September 24th to discuss the next steps. And those meetings are going to be via Zoom and recorded. So just to keep all the committees updated on what's going on with that, but you're welcome to attend any of those meetings.
Thank you.
Sarah, sorry.
I apologize. Page 67 of the schematic design has the reimbursement rate calculation, and it says the rate of reimbursement is going to be 53.53%.
Thank you.
That's great, thank you. Okay. Administration reports. Dr. Whipple, welcome back. Hope everyone had a good summer. Super excited to be back. It's been an awesome school year so far. So we were able to, thanks to Liz Grundle over here, who works lots of magic, I think all hours of the night, getting everyone hired in time. So I can't say enough about her. She's incredible, so thank you, Liz. I just want to shout out our custodians. We had a huge project that the town approved this summer, and it was in the back of our C-wing, which meant that we had to dig up basically all the concrete across all the bathrooms to make sure drainage was appropriate because we were having some backflow issues. And it was amazing how fast it came together. The custodians did a wonderful job making sure that they did all their work that had to get done so these special projects could happen. And we're psyched because now that problem won't be an issue that has popped up every couple of years for us in C-Wing. But the custodians do an amazing job of getting every single thing done, but then on top of it, make sure we're keeping up with projects like painting, just so that everything looks wonderful. Like power washing the outside of the building was something I was super passionate about and excited that got done. So they worked as a great team.
So we adopted a new math program this year, as you heard about from last year. So we're grateful for Brian DeSantis and Dr. Clifford, who put together lots of PD so our teachers could jump right in right away with the math. It's implementing a new program is challenging for anybody. So I am really proud of my teachers. We've been doing observations already, and they're doing awesome. I can't say enough. So I'm really excited about that program, and I think it will really help our data. We had a lot of teachers I want to shout out that did a ton of work over the summer. So our K teachers with Kara McNerney, Heidi Fox, Lisa Dejanay, Amy Fitzgibbon, Amy Tynan, Sharon Landers, who's right there. Grade 1 was Nicole Delaney, Julia Aracola, Elizabeth Cummings. Grade 2 was Kristen Pishkin, Janae Bartram, Donna Tresca, and Liz McCartney. So they spent hours over the summer looking at the new math, the curriculum, working on the scope and sequence. So that work had to get done for us to jump right in September, or August, I should say. Also, a special shout out to Kristen Pishkin and Janae Gelson, because they presented to all K-5 teachers on one of those PD days back. And it's not easy for teachers to present to their colleagues, and they did an amazing job, and I was really proud that they were willing to step up for the district. Outdoor classroom update, if you haven't been by, it's looking pretty beautiful. It's just about done. A couple little buttons we have to finish up, but CTE program was back right away in September. So it's we're excited. The next step is to have our committee come together and talk about furniture for underneath the pavilion. So yeah. We had our first fire drill, which is always exciting, working with the Kingston Fire Department. They're awesome, so we were able to successfully do that. Benchmark assessments have been underway. I believe actually all the data is in, and we're working on getting into EduClimber, and we'll be hosting data meetings shortly, well, one at the end of this week with teachers, with the data team. We do have curriculum night coming up on Wednesday from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. And our kindergarten numbers, because I know that's always a question, are at 152. That's vastly different from the 190, which if you're a kindergarten teacher like Ms. Landers is, it is a lot easier to have 20 kids instead of 27. So it's small groups are actual small groups, and it's going awesome. So that's it. Anyone have any questions for me?
My oldest is working on the roof right now.
Oh, is
part
he?
of the CT. Yes.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, they're
That's
doing a great
cool.
job, so that's great, yeah. Thank you. Yep. Mr. Materna, welcome back.
Good evening. Welcome back. Andy Materna, principal at KIS. I too want to give a shout out to my staff, Dr. Brzezzi, Ms. Fox, all our custodians, and all of the grade level teachers that worked really hard this summer to prepare for the year. Ms. Fox, if I may quote Ms. Fox, says this was one of the smoothest openings to the KIS year that she's been a part of, so it ranks up, I don't know, maybe top 5, but things have been going really well. A lot of prep this summer to get ready for an opening, as smooth as we've had. So welcome back. We're really looking forward to awesome things this year. Like Carrie said, we have a new math curriculum, HMH. We had a lot of staff members that worked over the summer to prepare for this and plan for this and look at the materials and really kind of get into what it looks like to have this new math curriculum and how to engage the students with it. They did a great job. Kingston was the only town that had the stipended positions for people to work over the summer, which was awesome, very helpful to give our staff the kind of leg up on the new curriculum. We held expectations meetings with all the staff, all the students last week, where we go through the expectations that align with our PBIS and where, expectations that we have for our students when they're in the auditorium or when they're in the classroom or the cafeteria, just to lay the groundwork of, hey, we're back in school. Here's what we need to do in order to be the most successful as we can be. Our systems are in great shape with PBIS, and our Eagle Wings are working again. Eagle Wings are our positive incentive for student behavior. Students earn Eagle Wings for soaring with Eagle Pride, showing ownership, safety, achievement, and respect, and they can put Eagle Wings in a jar in the office. We draw names from the jar every week, and students earn a trip to our school store and get to pick a little prize for positive incentive behaviors. We have Eagle Bucks too, which are classroom incentive awards for students that whole class incentives. So the entire class if they're all working together and they're all prepared and everybody's working together, the whole class earns pom-poms in a jar. And then once the jar is full, the whole class earns an Eagle Buck. Eagle Bucks can be spent in the school store. So positive incentives are working well. Our systems, like Carrie said, we also had a fire drill at KIS. Fire drill evacuation systems are on point. We are right now working through data, and we're looking at Edwin Analytics and gathering our data team later this week to start looking at data with grade levels and exploring goals with individual staff members for their evaluations this year, revolved around data. I send out a monthly newsletter, our highlights from this month for September 1st. The newsletter went out. I want to thank our 6th grade from last year that gave us 2 really great parting gifts as 6th graders. They donated a bench to the KIS courtyard, and they named a star after KIS. And there's a placard hanging up in front when you walk in to KIS right now of the KIS 6th grade star, KIS class of 2025. So thank you last year, 6th grade. I hope that the 7th graders are being successful this year in the middle school. We are working through adding grade level specialist counselor corners to our newsletters for the KIS newsletters that come out from me monthly, the beginning of every month. So make sure you're taking a look at the newsletters for up-to-date information from grade levels, from specialists as to what students are doing. Also, there's updates from me and from everything that's going on building-wide. It's more, there will be individual communication from teachers, but I communicate once a month with kind of a broad brush of what's happening in KIS. Our dates coming up: curriculum night at KIS is the 18th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. September 25th is an early release, dismissals at 12:30. And the 29th, Changemakers for Good presentation at the high school from 7 to 8:30. Keep that on your radar for this upcoming month. That's all I have for an update for here. Any questions?
Good. Can I just ask one question regarding curriculum night? Are there sessions like there have been in the past? Like, usually there's 3 sessions, I believe, for each one, right?
Yes. So at KIS, Dr. Brzezzi and I start off with our PBIS informational back to school for the parents, what we're working on with PBIS and what we're doing as administration with the students. And then there are 3 sessions for each, for everybody holds 3 sessions. They're approximately 20 minutes long. Each session is designed to be the same so that if families have students in different grade levels or in different buildings, they can go to any session of the 3. And I'll share that out later this week. I'll share it out either tomorrow or Wednesday. It was in the newsletter. There's a link with the description and the times of what to expect for the curriculum night. But I can send that out if you feel that would be appropriate in a separate parent square. Or
If it's already been sent, that's fantastic. I had seen the 4:30 to 6, and then of course I panicked because I have something going on after 5:30, but just wanted to make sure
I
that
might
it's
send it
broken up.
anyways, just it's like LinkedIn, all different links. People get lost in that stuff, so it might be a good thing to send out.
Great, thank you.
Great, thank you guys.
All right. Sarah?
Thank you, Madam Chair. In your digital packet is a financial report. When you look at the financial report, you can see that it is different than last year. So if you recall, I did what was called a chart of accounts conversion between the FY25 budget and the FY26 budget. The chart of accounts conversion allows me to create meaningful reports. So in your school committee packet, every time we meet is going to be a summary and a detailed report for where we're at for the year. And this is going to move into the consent agenda. And what I will ask is if at any point you have questions, if you just tell me, when we're on it, what page your question's on, and I can address your questions. So are there any questions on the financial report tonight?
Just the closeout balance. I thought we had already voted to move money into a stabilization account. Was that amount different than this
So the-
$20,163.08?
That's the next part of my report.
Okay,
Sorry.
sorry. Nope, I'm sorry to jump the
So
gun.
are there any, so there's the financial report, the summary and the detail. Are there any questions about the financial report? Okay, so moving on to the closeout then. In July, I received an invoice from the town that was dated April for a deductible for a insurance claim that occurred at Kingston Intermediate School. And because it was dated April, it's an FY25 expense. We would have no way of paying it at this point other than bringing it to town meeting. When I was talking to the town accountant about this, she mentioned that the fiscal year had not closed in Kingston and that we could pay it out of FY25 and then adjust the closeout. So the amount that was voted to be transferred, Jeannie, I believe this is an adjustment to that amount.
Okay, but just on that point then, the 20,000 that is after that deductible has been paid?
Yes, the $20,163.08, yes.
Okay, so, I just want to clarify, when we had voted on this prior, the motion was to move the 26,000 at the time, $159.27 into a stabilization fund contingent on approval from the town. So I just wanted to check, is that all set? Has that, the now adjusted amount been moved into a stabilization?
I would need to clarify that with the town.
Okay.
And I think I had asked about it after the fact. I don't think we need further town approval.
We had the conversation in the meeting, and I
Yep.
think it was not
Yep, it just needed.
definitively.
Right, respectfully, because I think we had a different business director prior. So when we had gone through the motions of creating the stabilization account and then understanding the language between using it and then moving money to it, but we had had several years where we could not move anything to it. So my strong recommendation, especially with the current situation of our anticipated budget season, I would strongly recommend that we still add this money to the stabilization fund. The town is still aware, it's still transparent of where that money went, but it's still within the school department's purview to use. So I would strongly recommend we retain.
I don't think we need to, we already voted, we never unvoted, I think just adjusting
The amount.
the amount.
Yep.
Do you have any other questions,
Nope.
Jesse?
No.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Clifford.
I have a few things tonight. The first thing is professional development that was offered this summer for Research for Better Teaching. The first was studying skillful teaching, which is a course that we offer every summer. The other course was analyzing teaching for student results, and that's for evaluators. And the other class was high expectations teaching, which is sort of like the next level of studying skillful teachers. So those three courses were offered this summer for teachers and administrators. We had a new teacher orientation on August 20th at the high school that went really well. We've had a leadership retreat. We had June 25th and June 26th and August 19th. And we discussed things like data-wise, reviewing benchmark data, our strategy for district improvement and instructional leadership, MTSS, and EduClimber. We had 3 professional development days this year, packed on August 25th, August 26th, and September 2nd. On August 25th, we had opening remarks by Dr. Prue and Dr. Tucker. And then people went back to their schools for mandatory training, faculty meetings, department meetings, and working in classrooms. On August 26th, we had math workshops. We had training by HMH. We had extensive training that day, both grade level work and then school-based work. And then again, we had on September 2nd, another day of training by HMH for all of the teachers. So there's been a lot of training and a lot of work, a lot of summer work in Kingston that's gone into helping teachers prepare and be ready. I'm looking forward to the further implementation of this. There will be ongoing coaching and support from HMH as the year progresses. There's a whole schedule for it. I shared it at the end of the year last year, as far as folks from their professional development department coming in, doing observations and meeting with teachers throughout the year. So there'll be ongoing work with that. I also submitted the title grants, Title 1, 2, 3, and 4 for Kingston. And we received those funds, so now we can utilize those funds for those title grants, which really are anything from math intervention work to Title 2 supporting teachers and professional development, Title 3 supporting our ML students, and Title 4 used for SEL or assessment pieces. So those are ways that those grants help us. And one of the other pieces is that in the spring, I applied for 2 different grants for all of the districts. One was a pre-K through 3, which is called PRISM 2, which is Partnership for Reading Success in Massachusetts. And I also applied for PRISM 3, which was for grades 4 through 12. And this program, which is run by the state, is designed to improve literacy outcomes in Massachusetts schools. It's part of the larger Literacy Launch Initiative, focused on providing high-quality, evidence-based reading instruction to all students. PRISM grants help districts evaluate, select, and implement high-quality instructional materials, along with providing professional development and coaching support. So I applied for Silver Lake Integrated Preschool, Kingston, Plimpton, Halifax, and the Integrated Preschool got it, Kingston got it, and Plimpton got it. And so for Kingston, what this means, it's $193,000. It's a chunk of that money is for stipends to pay teachers to work beyond contractual hours, to evaluate curriculum, to utilize it in their classrooms, to be on a committee that basically will evaluate high-quality instructional materials. And those are materials that basically are considered meets expectation across the board, according to Curate, according to the Department of Ed's, information. Another chunk of money is to pay TNTP, which is the New Teacher Project, which is a consulting group which DESE has vetted. So if you get this grant, you work with these consultants, they'll help with professional development around the science of reading, around how to look at a program and what are the elements that should be in it to make sure that it's a high-quality program. And then a third bucket of this grant is to pay half of the cost of a new ELA program. So as part of the curriculum review process, which I talked about a lot last year, and we went through the math process last year, and now we're implementing a new math program. This is to help us with the second year, first year for ELA, to help us do all of that work. So this is a large grant, and it has the potential to go into year 2, that we could also get funds to help us support implementation in year 2. So I've already sent out a lot of information to the teachers about being on committees. There still will be a math steering committee that will have roughly, 4 meetings during the year as a larger committee district-wide. ELA will follow the same format as math did, with a larger ELA committee and then a smaller K through 6 committee. And 7 through 12 will be working with the Hill for Literacy to do theirs. But they also understand that it's a K through 6, that we have K through 6 schools. All this is a pre-K through 3 grant. The state understands that we'll be purchasing and running these committees as a district that really is a K through 6 for the elementary schools. So that's all I have tonight.
That's great, thank you.
Dr. Clifford, where are we at in terms of, percentage towards, I don't know if we have a grant goal, like when we start talking about the budget and things like that we're trying to offset with funds that are one-time funds. You know how we consider the grants the one-time funds.
Yeah.
Do you know where we're at in terms of reaching past money spent from grants?
I do not know that. This was a competitive grant, not an entitlement grant. Only 33 communities in the Commonwealth got it. So we were fortunate, I mean, in many ways, to get this. There isn't necessarily a goal. The good news is that it will help tremendously as we go into, hopefully, as we go into budget season.
Absolutely. No, I thank you for all your work with the grants. I know that's not an easy process at all. I think what I'm just curious, when we are going to start to discuss the budget, and we're talking about the one-time funds, just to kind of have an idea of what we are spending year to year with the allocated one-time funds, so that we kind of have an idea of what we need to meet, the threshold to not
Yeah.
losing things that are funded with the one-time funds.
Yeah, generally speaking, and this is a broad brush, is really the title grants. I mean, if I were to go just like something that's in the past been a default.
Right, yep.
In the past been a default.
Yep.
Those usually range anywhere between $150,000 to $156,000 for Kingston.
Okay.
And those fluctuate from year to year, and we got this year sort of in the ballpark of what I would expect.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, has Kingston or any part of Silver Lake ever received the PRISM 2 grant previously?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Excellent.
That's great.
See what I mean? We could already be starting ahead. Thank you.
That's great then, especially if it'll cover half of the new curriculum, which, speaking of new curriculum, I just had a question about the math. I believe this was a one-year kind of pilot program, if you will. At what point during the year do we need to make the decision of, yep, we're going to stick with it? And
No,
I see you shaking your head.
No, so last year, if you recall,
I thought we only purchased a 1 year.
No, we actually, when we went through this with the whole program last year, when we picked HMH,
Right.
we were able to roughly get a 3-year with a 1-year cost. We
Okay.
kind of, yeah, so
Gotcha.
I understand your question, but
Okay.
we're HMH.
Right, okay. So we're with them for at least 3 years.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
That's fabulous. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
That's when we came up.
That is great. All right. Dr. Prue. you're up.
Okay, tonight in your packet, you'll find the strategy for district improvement, which has been updated for the 25-26 school year. And every summer, as Dr. Clifford spoke about, we meet in the summer with our principals, our assistant principals, coordinators, directors, central office staff to revisit what we have accomplished and what our next steps are going to be for the upcoming school year. So many of you are familiar with the 4 strategic objectives that were set a few years ago. And I'll just highlight a few items underneath each strategic goal that specifically pertain to Kingston schools. We're going to be expanding our anti-bullying protocol, pro-social support by partnering with Changemakers for community presentation on September 29th. And that's going to be held at the high school, but it's for all parents in all of our schools. And what we're really looking to do there is to address hate and bullying in our community at the very beginning of the school year and partner with our parents to try to prevent those types of things from happening in our schools. We're going to work to consistently employ the school district calendar. It's really important for our principals to consistently use this because our principals in other schools don't necessarily know what might be going on in the school and inadvertently schedule something at the same time. So our principals have been great, but we recommitted to making sure that we get everything on that calendar as soon as things are booked so that the rest of our schools can do their best to try to avoid conflicts for parents. We're going to expand participation in the 2nd annual district-wide community curriculum showcase. The first one was held last year at the high school, and the high school has again offered to host, and all of our schools will participate. In addition, our principals are looking to fulfill the community member seat of their school councils by October of this year. And it's really important to have voice of the community members. Our school councils focus on things such as changes to handbooks, which ultimately would be approved by the school committee, but they also help the principals with their school improvement plans and things of that nature. So our principals are working to try to find interested members for that particular council as well. For strategic initiative goal number 2, which is high expectations for all students, we're going to be strengthening our co-teaching methodology, and Dr. Clifford has already spoken to some of the professional development that's been provided. We're going to be utilizing our observations and evaluations to provide teachers with feedback on effective research-based practices. Particularly this year, we're focused on framing the lessons, communicating the objective, and setting or implementing criteria for success. So those are the types of things that principals have been looking for when they go into classrooms and working with their staff in terms of what we would expect to see and hear. These are not new strategies for our teachers for the most part. In fact, all of our teachers within the first 3 years are required to take the Studying Skillful Teaching course, and we have been evaluating teachers for these types of expectations in our evaluation system for as long as I have been here, if not longer. So this is not new, but we're recommitted to focusing on skillful teaching and those practices and what they'll look like in the classroom to build the capacity of all of our teachers. We're continuing full staff training on the utilization of EduClimber, which is our software program that helps us to look at data from multiple sources at the classroom level, at the school level, and across all of our districts. We're going to be implementing the DataWise process, and we already began some of that training at our leadership retreat, and our principals are going to be using that protocol with their data teams this year. In terms of strategic goal number 3, which is implementing the aligned and engaging curriculum, we are implementing the new math program this year. ELA is going to be in year number 1 of their curriculum review cycle, and Dr. Clifford is assembling an ELA curriculum steering committee and implementing the district literacy plan as well this year. We're going to continue to implement assessments 3 times a year, and you're familiar with DIBELS and STAR, and our principals will again be bringing you updates in terms of the progress throughout the school year. Our 4th objective is restructuring to improve focus on learning and efficiency and outcomes. Both Megan Cannon and Jeannie Coleman are members of the Tri-Town Committee that we have been participating in since this summer, or probably late spring, early summer. And we're hoping to partner with the Collins Center and looking at the potential costs and savings of full regionalization and what that would mean. In terms of professional development, Dr. Clifford has already provided staff with a professional development calendar for the upcoming school year, and we're well into some of those trainings already. We are going to streamline and accelerate our FY27 capital and budget planning for the upcoming school year. And if you look in your packet, there's a second document, the Silver Lake Regional School District in Union 31, FY27 budget development. In August, we started working on a new timeline. We have sent out requests to our principals, student services, technology director, director of facilities, and coordinators to begin to ask them to develop their budgets for the upcoming school year. We have a meeting scheduled next week with the Kingston Board of Selectmen to discuss.
It's this week.
Is it this week?
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Yep.
I know.
Thank you. Feels like next week, but it's only this
Just
Thursday.
by conflict with curriculum night.
Thank you. We have scheduled meetings with all of our principals, our technology director, director of facilities, student services, to review their budget proposals in October. In November, we will hold a joint meeting so that we can hear presentations from the Director of Student Services, our Technology Director, and our Elementary Curriculum Coordinator. They give an overview for all of our districts at the same time because the presentations are the same, relatively the same. The numbers are different, but the rationales are the same. And in December, we're going to move up, and we're going to have a preliminary budget a month earlier than usual. Our plan is to have a preliminary budget to you in December.
Thank you.
So it's at this time of the school year that I usually ask the school committee for any expectations, requests that they may have in terms of how we present the budget this year to you.
First of all, that joint meeting is on November 13th, even if you're not on Union 31, which I believe through the chair, we will complete reorganization once we add a fifth member, right?
Correct.
Okay. But highly recommended to attend because that's going to include lots of information. But I'm going to ask if we can ask the principals if they can kind of think outside of the box as you're putting together your budgets in regards to class sizes. I know that, we were just complimented on a lot of the class sizes that we were able to maintain. And even in some cases, like the kindergarten classes are much better than anticipated because of the lower enrollment number. But when you go to do your budget, like, I'll agree that it stinks if we're waiting until January to see the first draft, and then in February, we're realizing how bleak the numbers could look if we're looking at cuts. If maybe we can be a little bit creative while you're looking at the process, saying, okay, well, if we were to move teachers around, if we had to kind of maintain some of the smaller class sizes without having to think that we're actually cutting staff, like if we can, work with a level service budget with what we have first, and try to do it that way instead of, I think, looking at the worst case scenario, because I think it's a priority to keep staff, keep staffing levels, but understanding that we're up against a very bleak budget season, I think it would be remiss not to ask you to please consider outside the box. And then also, I just want to state it for the record, I did on Thursday night as well, Kingston is the only town in the district with the bylaw to have the budgets prepared by November, which is not practical for our budget scenario. So I just want to state that we're not trying to disregard the town bylaw. It just doesn't work for what we've been presenting for the last several years to the town. And I don't think anyone's able to exactly tell us when that bylaw became a bylaw. So that also would have been helpful to have been a part of that conversation because it doesn't work for us. That's as much as I have on that.
Thank you. Jesse?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
What do you want to see?
I just hope that we can maintain our services with the least fallout possible within, the financial constraints that we'll be working with. I'm curious to see how our conversation goes with the town on Thursday and what feedback they provide to us. But unfortunately, we have to work in a timeline that's reasonable to have the most accurate information, I think. We don't want to give a number and then change it, and then give another number and change it as information becomes available to the committee. So hopefully we can come up with a mutually agreeable plan for forming the budget this year. Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that we are reliant on both state and federal funds, which are not typically available to us until after even our January meeting. So the numbers that you see in February will be estimates, and there will be certain assumptions built in, but it is very possible that those numbers will change.
Yep. Megan, can I just also, of the principals, we still want to see your wish lists, because I think it's extremely beneficial to be able to present to the public that these are the requests of our administrators, so that if we happen to fall into a pot of gold before next year, we're not saying that these requests for additional staffing or programs came out of nowhere, that it was something that was backed up throughout the years that we just haven't been able to fund. I know that we've not been able to fund your wish lists in full the last several years, so I think it's important to still know what those needs are of your buildings, so that we are able to also defend the fact that we're not running where our principals wish we were running. You know, like if you had everything that you could imagine under the sun, how much more, could you guys do? So I think wish lists are important.
I agree.
Now, I don't mean to call it a wish list. I hope that's not insulting to say wish list. So what the needs are. So,
Yes.
if that makes sense. Sorry.
Okay. Now we can move on to our subcommittee reports. Admin review. still waiting to meet. I believe Halifax has just appointed for their empty seat, so hopefully we can get everybody together to finally finish that up. Pilgrim Area Collaborative, Sheila is our representative for that. I'm not sure if they've met or if they have an upcoming meeting, I think.
I don't know because Amy wasn't at.
I know.
That might have been why she wasn't there, so.
Okay. Union 31, as we discussed, we have our meeting coming up in November with all of the presentations. Negotiations, we will be entering into negotiations this year with both our teachers union and our support staff. Budget advisory, we've been advised. Facility oversight, I don't think we have any updates beyond the roof report. Policy,
September 25th is our next policy meeting.
okay.
So I believe if I'm looking at the correct organizational chart, you should get a.
I got that already.
Yay.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. And then technology, I don't think we have any updates.
Can I ask a question about technology? Sorry, Mr. Materna, I meant to ask it while you were up there. Do we still have like a one-to-one, like student to Chromebook ratio in Kingston, or have we kind of fallen behind that, or what do we currently have? And part of the reason I'm asking is for selfish reasons. My boys don't have their own Chromebooks. They have devices that they've kind of lost this week for consequence purposes, but so to do their homework, I was kind of hoping that something would come home, but I guess they don't automatically.
So we have one-to-one usage of Chromebooks in the building. We have classroom carts, and that's how they're utilized. If students need Chromebooks at home, we do have loaner Chromebooks available to students that we have a limited number of them, but I don't think they've ever all been signed out. There's a sign-out process for loaner Chromebooks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. And other matters unforeseen at time of posting? Is there anything?
I would just ask that we get an update on the bus as well as the lanyard situation, just because I believe those both fall under safety concerns. So I would like to see just that they're followed through with, that parents aren't still upset about them, that they can be corrected.
Okay. And now we just need a motion to adjourn into executive session to return to open, and if you need the language, I can give you that.
I will make a motion that we adjourn to executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for collective bargaining, MOA for teachers in KTA, sick bank leave. Okay, sorry. And to return to open session and Mass General Law 30A, Section 21A7, to approve executive minutes of June 9th, 2025, and July 7th, 2025, and to return to open session. That part's redundant.
Okay. We'll do roll call vote. Jesse Keith? Jeannie Coleman?
Yes.
And I am a yes. So we politely ask everybody to step out for a few minutes.
that's, oh, do we have to? Oh, no,
I
we
will
have
make a
to
motion that we
to-
approve
thank
the
you.
MOA as presented in executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I will make a
Now-
motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Jesse Keith?
Yes.
Jeannie Coleman?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome back.
So executive session minutes, they'll either present like that.